Hey Mixers, and welcome back to FEM EDM. We are women empowered in music discussing topics related to the EDM community every week. I'm Ashley Edie. I don't know what that motion was.
I'm Michelle Goodkin.
I'm Sandrina Miran.
And I'm Rebecca Lorenzo.
Awesome. And this week we are discussing why clothing or lack thereof does not equal consent. I know we're probably all super passionate about this one, as we are all women who love to go to raves and concerts.
First of all, if you are not, a rave is not a place for you if you're not somewhat of an exhibitionist or pro-exhibitionist culture. Because guess what? Everywhere you look, you're probably going to see a boob. You're probably going to see like somebody's butt. You're going to see somebody with Chad with his shirt off. Like, you do not go to these shows to see everybody dressed in a turtleneck sweater. It's so hot outside. What do you want people to pass out? People are already passing out in their bikinis. Like, please, just because somebody chooses to put something on their body doesn't mean they want your sloppy ass hands on them. So please just keep them off. If you want to put them on someone's body, put them on your own.
You want to wear whatever you want to wear, or, wear as minimal clothing as possible. That's literally for you. If you don't know the person, if you have no right to just violate somebody's personal space and their literally temple. Like that your body is like the only thing that you have as you. That is a complete violation to just assume that because somebody is dressed a certain way that is an invitation to be harassed. It is absolutely not.
I have someone pretty close to me who for a very long time had the idea that they're not going to go to a festival because they didn't want to see bitches walking around naked. And I would fight that so hard because, like, especially at festivals, it's a place where, like, you can be who you want to be, dress how you want to dress, whether that's with clothing or not. Like, you shouldn't put someone down like that if that's how they want to be at this place, at this one place where like you can actually freely be who you want to be and dress how you want to dress. Like, that really, really bothered me. And coming into like the sexual assault thing, like, there have been a lot of times where, like, men, or I'm sure women too, have been like, oh, that woman is dressing really risque, whatever. Like, they obviously want it. Like, no, we don't obviously want anything. We just want to dress like that. I mean, it goes back to both of your points. Like, no, we just want to dress like this because that's how we feel free, and we want to dress and we think we look good, and like, that's it.
You get to be a sort of character. You get to be something that you
100%
not really normally. Like, that is an outfit. That is a character. That is like, you're taking on a form of, it's a personality trait. It's literally like fun. It's not fun to be groped or harassed or bothered or like catcalled or whatever.
Yep. The one thing I have a problem with is, so in this culture we're in, it's predominantly women's bodies that get policed. Nobody gives a shit about what the dudes are wearing. Like, Santina, what you were saying, the dude with the banana hammock. Nobody is going to point at that guy in the banana hammock and say, oh, he's a slut. He's asking for it. Whereas if a woman is walking around in pasties and tiny shorts, they're going to say, oh, she's a slut. She's asking for it. It's like, no, why does there have to be a difference between what he's wearing and what she's wearing? Like, why are we policing anyone's bodies and anyone's clothing, first of all? But it disproportionately affects women. Like, why are we at a point in our society to where we're so objectified that if we're completely covered up, we're prudes, or if we're showing any skin, we're sluts? Someone's clothing is not an invitation for you to come up to them and violate them. Like, if you wouldn't want that to happen to you, don't do it to someone else.
I was at Izu this past Labor Day, and I was by myself for a good portion of the festival. And normally, like how, I don't know if we've gathered, but like I can get feisty like for certain things, and that type of stuff is absolutely one of those things. And granted, I know the position that I'm in of being a woman, also being like a smaller person. I know the risks of like saying something, but at the same time, like I am such a person of like, you don't get to do something to me and me just like take it. Like we have to take so much on a daily basis that it's like, if you do something to me or to like a friend of mine, like you're not going to just get away with it. But at Izu, I was just standing in line. I think I was standing in line to fill up my Camelback, and some guy walked behind me and completely just like groped my butt. And I like turned around and like I saw him, and he made some like just like some disgusting gesture or whatever. And I got like really choked up because I was afraid in that moment to even say or do anything, when normally that's like my knee-jerk reaction is to be like very vocal or like get in that person's face or whatever. I would normally do that, but because I was alone, because I was like nobody would maybe even like see me or notice me if like something happened. Granted, I'm sure they would, but it was just such like a in split second like moment of like, I'm by myself, and if I like retaliate and say something, like who knows, because clearly he's not a good person, so who knows what he would have done, how he would have reacted to my reaction, and that could have been worse than just me getting my ass grabbed. I got really emotional in that moment because I felt so powerless and so helpless, and it just like made me feel so down for like, you know, a majority of the time after, of just like, really, there's so many great human beings at like this place, and like you have to get the person who's like such a Chad and Brad and literally just like disgusting.
I think that you did the right thing, and you did the right thing, and I'm totally gonna tell you why. I mean, I have the same reaction too.
Yeah.
If someone puts their hands on me, like I'll flip the out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is that fear of, this is still a man. He's still
Yeah.
bigger than me. He's stronger than me. He can really hurt me.
Yeah.
And that actually happened to me one time.
There's something that my dad always says that he like teaches me is battle or war. So in that sense, the battle would have been, you know, I could have won the battle by speaking out or whatever, but instead I won the war by swallowing that moment and winning the war by not making it worse for myself.
If you are somebody who is defending this and trying to act like feminism is too much of it's an overreaction, clearly you are small-minded and you have never been on the receiving end of that. Yeah. It's not something you can just get unless you've either been there or you can empathize with people. So I just really hope that we get to a point in society where people can stop stigmatizing why women need to bind together. Right. It's not an overreaction. It's a real thing.
Men can't comprehend the idea of it because men don't have to fear walking outside at night. They don't have to like look behind their back and make sure they're not being followed. Like men don't understand because they don't exist in a world where that fear is any type of reality to them.
Recently, I was covering an event, and it was a club event, and you know, it was New Year's Eve, so I'm wearing like this really short, tight dress or whatever. And this guy approached me, started talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm a friendly person, you know, like I'll engage with him. And he was like, oh, you know, like my friends and I have a table upstairs. You know, do you want to come hang out with us? And I was like, okay, sure, why not? And so we go upstairs, and I was thinking like, okay, he knows where he's going. I don't know where we're going, so I'll follow him. But he kept wanting me to walk in front of him. And whenever he would try to like put his hand like on my back or like put his arm around me and stuff. And I'd be like, no. And he was not really reading the signals, and I kept saying like, here, you lead, I will follow you, because he kept trying to like touch me and stuff, and I was like, no. And this venue was really, really crowded, And this really freaked me out. He did this thing where he was trying to clear a path, like for us to move forward. And so I'm standing in front of him, and he kind of does like this little number, like kind of like traps me in his arms. And I kind of freaked out at that point. I was like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Like, you know, spidey senses started tingling. I was like, yeah, no, this is not a good situation. So I literally waited for an opening and I ducked.
For me, like being somewhere alone isn't the scary part, especially because I take extra precautions of like being sober and being aware and all that stuff. Like if I'm going somewhere alone, I'm like definitely more, yeah, I'm not as free, you know, if I'm like with my friends or whatever and feel, you know, safer in that. But like I said, I know I've spoke about this, but it's more of the like the transportation to get there. That's the problem, because being in New York, you have to take you know, a train, and then it's, or maybe a subway, or then the Uber. Like that is the stuff that I get more nervous about, especially since our raves and everything go till like 2, 3, 4 a.m. And that's kind of like, you know, a little bit of a crazy hour. And New York is a city that doesn't sleep. So there's definitely like people out on the streets always. And like they see you walking around, especially in, again, what you're wearing. Like they think that they have the right to say something or catcall. And that's that is what's terrifying. I won't live my life in fear. I make an effort to be aware, to be as safe as possible. You just can't like not do anything because of all the possibilities of what can happen.
I feel like it should be like, don't not live your life because of fear. Live your life with precaution.
Yeah.
Because I remember after the whole like last year, when I remember, what festival was it? It was like I think it was a country music festival, and it got shot up. And that year there was a
Las
bunch
Vegas.
of people shooting. Yeah, and then the Ariana Grande concert got bombed. And I remember I actually almost didn't buy a Forest ticket because I had this like really like just bad feeling in my stomach that something was going to happen. And you can't if it wasn't going to happen at a festival, it was going to happen some other way. Like I completely agree with that. Like you can't count for those things. All you can do is take the best measures to make sure that you have a plan B. You know, like look for the security exits, look for emergency exits. Don't be in dark places alone where there's not a lot of people around. Like those things you can plan for.
Dress how you want to dress, act how you want to act. Festivals are a place for love and acceptance, and do you.
Touch your damn self, and that's it.
Wear the pasties, let them out. You look fabulous. And if anyone tells you that you don't, it's because they're jealous of you. And you don't need that energy in your life.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. One final thing I will say is, dudes, if you see this kind of behavior happening, call out your bros, okay? If one of your bros is being shitty to a woman, man, or doesn't matter what gender the person is, if one of your friends is being shitty to someone, call them out. It's okay to go up to your friend and be like, hey, that wasn't cool. You were really shitty to that girl. You know, like as women, we have to stick together, but dudes, I feel like, also have to hold themselves accountable to each other.
We know some of you are wonderful. Whatever you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, but control your dickhead chat.
As females empowered in music, there are 3 things that we are all super passionate about, and those things are lady bosses, amazing fashion, and body positivity. And speaking of lady bosses, business owner Lauren Lee founded her own e-commerce business called Lady Boss Glasses. And that was started in response to symptom after symptom of chronic eye fatigue experienced by powerful and productive women in the workplace. So to support their brand, as someone who wears glasses, I'm blind as a bat, definitely behind that one, you can follow them online at ladybossglasses.com. Thanks for tuning in, Mixers. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you learned something, had a good laugh, were inspired. Control your chads, keep your chads in check. Thanks for tuning in, Mixers. We hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to tune in next week where we talk about FOMO, otherwise known as the fear of missing out. And to stay up to date with all things mixed, go to mix247edm.com. You can also follow us on all of our social media accounts. And also, please do subscribe to our YouTube and Vimeo channels here for FEM EDM. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye.